Well, good evening, everyone, and it's Thursday, 7:23, and we welcome you back here to another version of the Rumble Mumble. And Kyle, just it's kind of weird that in the off season, but so glad that we were able to keep this tradition going for now.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back here in the Fatheadz Eyewear Studio, and like you said, we're full swing in the off season, getting ready for the race season coming up here in the spring. About a month after what the Rumble would have been, and we're still here doing it and getting ready for next year.
And all the racers are obviously that just got done running the Chili Bowl, now getting ready for the Florida Swing, and hopefully they're supporting our good buddy up there at Jason Deacher Trailer Sales. I know Jason's been really busy selling the trailers.
Yeah, it's crazy with the halt in racing that he's still doing well, and I think maybe even better than normal right now.
Good deal. Well, tonight we're going down to the Cincinnati area to Hamersville, Ohio. And our guest tonight, I'm really excited about this because I kind of was on the ground floor watching him move up through the ranks. Tonight we welcome Justin Clark. Justin, welcome to the Rumble Mumble.
Hey Larry, I appreciate you guys having me on here. Really cool.
Yeah. I think I was trying to do my math right. I think I have you coming in at 23 years old. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Good deal.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of interested, Justin. I raced against you a few times in carts back at Little League and State Line and stuff. But what's the Justin Clark story? How'd you get into racing, and how'd you get to where you're at now?
It all started really when I was young. I think it was like a couple months old. We was down at Daytona. I was down Daytona and then got a little older and started going to dirt tracks. Grew up at Brown County Speedway. We did that for a while and got the itch for it. So me and my dad one Father's Day, I think it was 2006. We ended up going and buying some guy out. Didn't know what we was getting into, but later the fact, we realized we didn't get the right stuff, but we did with what we got, and we ended up doing that for a while, and we ended up buying better stuff, better motors, better tires, and I raced go-karts from 2006 to 2018, and I was trying to do both. I moved up to sprint cars in 2018, and I was trying to do both, and it was just so tough to do both. So I just decided, I'm gonna have to sacrifice one. So I decided to sell out of go-karting and stick to the sprint car and try to better my program on that. And here I am today, just committed to sprint car racing, and I'll race some go-kart races here and there.
Yeah, I see that you still have the itch, and you just couldn't get away from it. And you've been working, I think, with Austin Stookie and some of the guys, and still out there running the go kart and doing very well.
Yeah, me and Austin has become really good buddies over the years, and we've raced each other for probably a good little bit at Eldor, and I didn't really know who he was, but we just, I don't even know how we even met, but I'm glad we did. He's like my brother, and he does a lot for me. He'll come to the track and help me when I'm racing sprint car whenever he's not racing, and he's been really good help if I ever needed him, and now he's been very nice to let me race his stuff whenever I have an off weekend, or like these past couple of weeks we bought our own go-kart and we ended up just selling it, but it's just cool to have somebody like him let me race whenever I have an off weekend.
So was there any mini sprint racing or any kind of transition, or did you just go straight from go-karts to sprint cars?
I raced 600 micro, I think twice out the Circus City Speedway. Rick Dukes and Rick Rhodes gave me the opportunity to do that, and that was amazing. That was a huge step for me, and that was pretty cool, and that made me really get the itch for to get a sprint car. But the main reason I ended up in the sprint car, and I was really wanting to get into late models, but I ended up going to Chili Bowl in 2018. And one of my buddies helped Kyle Larson and Chris Bell. He said, if you ever want to make a name for yourself or have anything to do with racing in your future, you have to get in a sprint car. So, that's why I did that and where I'm at right now.
That's pretty intriguing because I think that was going to be my next question is being down where you are. It's primarily dirt late models and dirt modifieds, and other than Atomic Speedway, it's not a whole lot of sprint racing down there. And you jumped right into the sprint car. And I was kind of telling Kyle on the way over here tonight a little bit about the story of what I've seen Justin Clark through the years. Is that you have an ambition, you have a desire, and so self-motivated. The sprint car isn't easy to get into, and you've pretty much just done it all on your own. It's not like a whole lot of financial backing or corporate sponsorship. It was Justin Clark wants to go sprint racing, and Justin Clark's going to do what he has to do to go sprint car racing.
Yeah, what that's the toughest thing was moving from go-karts to a car is that's a big financial jump. But I've been very lucky to have some amazing people to help me along the way, and I couldn't have done it without my parents. They really didn't want to get out of go-karts. They want to getting out of that, and they knew how much it was going to be to end up where we are right now. And you know, if it wasn't for them and my sponsors that I do have, I don't know if I could be able to do it. But in order to get sponsors, you got to do good, and you got to do some winning, and you just got to do everything you can to promote their business and get out to victory lane.
So how, obviously, you said you have a lot of people backing you to help you kind of make that jump into sprint cars. Do you guys have a team? Do you run for yourself, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I raced for myself. Started it was 2017. In 2017, told mom we was gonna go like in a sprint car, and she wasn't really too enthused. We pulled up to the guy's house. He lived a half mile from Atomic Speedway, and we got there, and the trailer was parked in the driveway. And first thing she seen was a trailer, and it was completely wrecked. I mean, it was in bad shape. So that was initially a big turnoff for her, and she's like, "We're not getting this." She goes, "We're just gonna back out. We're leaving. Not happening." So we was like, "Well, let's go inside and look at everything." And we ended up, me and Dad got out, and she stayed in the truck. Didn't want nothing to do with it. So me and Dad walked in. We looked at everything, and we know for the asking price he wanted for everything we was getting. It was kind of a no-brainer. And I think the best way to get into any sport or anything is to buy something out, so you don't have to buy pieces and pieces. And it's nice to have spares and everything. So that's about where we started, and now I end up I have my own team, and I try to cover all the expenses that I can, and the sponsors that I have. I'm very appreciative for them, and luckily for my parents, they help on the motor part of the racing.
You talk quite a bit about your mom and dad, and I think my introduction to Justin Clark comes back to BMI over in Versailles, Ohio. It was the first time I had seen you. And I saw that family bond right there and how close knit. And I don't know if you remember this, and I'm not going to try to put you on the spot, but I was telling Kyle this story coming down is at BMI, tiny little bull ring. And I don't know as if you were really adjusted to our way of putting the show on so quickly, and you missed the heat race in one of your classes, and your mom came over to your pit stall and told you pretty much in no uncertain terms that is never going to happen again. Do you happen to recall that?
Yeah, that's one can't forget. Dad never gets to go with racing with us much, because he usually works all week, so he can help support my hobbies. But that was the one weekend he was allowed to go, and he was very intent on getting the motor tight. Well, he was messing around with that, and we went up for a heat race and we missed it. And I didn't go to very many races after that. And he still doesn't, but he goes when he can. So that. Yeah, you can't forget that one.
Yeah, it just the family bond, Kyle. It's amazing. And the other thing is, and you can get into Justin a little bit about this, is the traveling that they do. He'll be in Missouri one night and racing over at Frankfort, Ohio, the next night.
Yeah, I follow him on social media kind of loosely, and it following this summer, I was kind of baffled. I would see him, like you said, at one track 3 states over, and then the next track, and I had to kind of go back to the previous day and make sure it's the same person. So, what is that like traveling, that far, and I guess why why do you want to travel that far each weekend?
I just got a love for it. It doesn't matter if it's I got to drive 30 minutes or I got to drive 15 hours. I just love to race, and I love to find wherever I can race. We've been all over this year racing. We was in Missouri the first part of the year, and we raced in Iowa one night. Then I think a couple weeks later we went to Pennsylvania and went back to Missouri, and was in Indiana, Ohio, and then at the end of the year we go to Nebraska to race for nationals. And if it wasn't for my mom wanting to support me and or wanting to take me wherever, and you know, going into this year, I told her I wanted to race for national points. So she goes, wherever we got to go to race, she goes, I'll take you. So I'm pretty lucky to have my mom.
Yeah, she's definitely a great cheerleader, and I can remember. I think I made a visit to 35 Raceway, and kind of a surprise visit, and I'd climb up in the bleachers and sit down, and I look to my right, and there's Lisa, your mom, and she gets a talking, and she says, "Do you know what that kid of mine did to me this last week or a week or so ago?" She says, "We went to this track and it rained out, so he gets on and starts going through all the internet and everything, and he finds another race like 4 hours away." So she gets in the truck, and you guys go off racing.
Yeah, we drove all the way out to Missouri. We were supposed to race at US 36 on Friday, and we got there. We got there Thursday night, and we woke up the next day, and I got on my phone and it said it was canceled, and I'm like, no way, this can't be happening. So I walk outside because we're literally like 5 minutes from the track, and I'm like, there's not even any water on the ground. So I'm like, well, this sucks. I'm like, we just drove 13 hours. We just drove 13 hours. It got rained out, and there's not even any rain. So I get on my phone, I start messaging people, and I'm like, where's the race? I'm already drove this far. I'm like, I'm gonna race somewhere tonight. So luckily I found, well, I guess not luckily, but I found the track that was 4.5 hours away in Iowa. So we went there and raced, and ended up third. And then we drove back to our hotel because the next race, Saturday, the track was 45 minutes from our hotel. So we drove back to the hotel at night, got back real late, and then woke up that morning and did all of our maintenance on the car, and then went and raced at Bethany Speedway in Bethany, Missouri, and we ended up winning. So I guess it made the trip kind of worth it.
Yeah, kind of worth it.
So the other thing that I admire about Kyle or Justin is that tenacity. At Little E on a Sunday afternoon dirt track, tough little track to race on. It's more driver than anything else. And you see the high horsepower teams go out there and they're just throwing it through the turns and everything. And then I put my eyes on the 78 cart, and there you are just methodically, hardly even turning the steering wheel and moving your way up through the front. Do you like sit in the pit area and watch your competition on how they're driving, or is it just a natural talent?
That's one thing when people ask me like how I do stuff. I honestly couldn't even tell you. I'm like, people ask me if I'm on the brakes or if I'm out on the brakes. I have no clue. I don't really have an explanation. I just kind of do it. That's the one thing I've learned about Little E is you have to be smooth, and you for sure have to be patient there. You can really get yourself in trouble there and move yourself in the back. But you just gotta use your head and watch for Larry to water the track before you go out, and hopefully the top comes in.
So you've obviously been pretty successful in karts and sprint cars, but I feel like you have to drive them fundamentally pretty different. So why do you think you've been successful in both vehicles?
As far as like the go-karts, I think that really helps. I don't care if it's sprint car, late model, anything. And go-karts really help with your hands and your throttle and how smooth and stuff you are on that. And the one time I did get to drive a 410 this last or 2 years ago. I did all right, but it was really different from the 305 to the 410. But at the same time, I still had the same fundamentals of how to drive it and how to use my foot and everything. But I don't care what anybody says. Go-karts will help you in anything you drive.
I think that's the thing about the Rumble too. Why you see so many of the other guys, like even Bill Rose, a couple years came down, and that's kind of the common denominator of what they've said is that the go karting is good for sharpening your reflexes, and because you don't have the suspension, you don't have all of that stuff. You just have you.
Yeah, when it comes to the rumble, it's you just got to keep the cart out of the track, but you also got to keep it in the track. You got to keep it straight. I think that's a huge thing. Is as soon as you come off the corner, I've learned a lot from the people that's helped me, and Jason Dunn's one of them. He's helped me a lot with my dirt, and then helping with concrete stuff. He helped me with driving and everything. The main thing he always said was keep it out of the rubber and keep it straight, and or get to the wall as fast as you can. Because if you can get to the wall and out of the rubber, he said that's the fastest way around there, and that helped me a lot and helped me with the success I have at the Rumble. It's just it's just a big difference from sprint car to the dirt carts, and then concrete. It's huge difference.
But I think it's neat, like you said. It really helps. People stay sharp and kind of fine tune their craft, and I think that's why we see people like Justin and Dylan Woodley and Charlie Schultz. Just kind of stash that card over in the shop, and when the Rumble comes around, they bring it out.
Obviously, you in your karting, and now your sprint car is primarily the dirt deal, but with your go kart years, you traveled around, you did concrete racing, you did some pavement racing, you did a lot of dirt racing. Is there a particular type of track that appeals to you and your driving style the most?
You know, you know, number one's going to be Little League. I think that's the biggest driver track between there and Route 68, which I think it's shut down now. But between there and Eldora, I think that's the huge driver tracks. And if you can get around there, you can probably get around anywhere because Little League doesn't require as much, tires and stuff. It comes down to who can drive and who can be the patient. And I think there in 68, I think that's probably my two favorite tracks, only because you actually have to drive the cart and use your head. So yeah, I'm really hoping we can race Little League again next year. I got to try and keep my win list up there and maybe get a couple more championships, maybe.
You just scored so many brownie points with Larry right there.
No, yeah, I always enjoy, watching you race, Justin. And there's been quite a few times that you've disagreed with my calls, and I get that Justin look. But then I learned pretty much like the last full year that we raced, I would kind of like just look back at you when you would get upset, and it was like a bell came on. You took a lap, you settled down, and there you were one more time, just picking them off. Instead of staying, upset, you took that and you said, I'm better than that, and I'm going to make it work.
It all comes down to you can't get a hot head. If you get a hot head, your driving is going to be terrible. Um, if you can't cool down and sit down and drive, you're never gonna be able to drive back up at the front, or that could ruin your whole day and put you in a bad spot. And there's a few times where I've got the Larry call, but at the end of the day, you just gotta slow down, calm down, and you just gotta do what you can do and try to drive back up there.
You've been talking a lot about the sponsorship help and everything. You want to give a shout out to some of the folks that have been helping you out?
Yeah, I gotta thank my mom and dad first off. If it wasn't for them, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at. I gotta thank Jason Dunn with Jason Dunn State Farm Insurance. He came on this year, which is huge, and I can't thank him enough. I got to thank Simpson Race Products, Walker Performance Filtration. They've been with me since GoKarts in 2015, and they're a huge asset to my engine program and keeping my motors clean. I think Slicker Graphics, he's always kept my stuff pretty clean, and can't thank him enough. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people, but if it wasn't for all them people that's on my car between where I started and where I'm at now, definitely would be a lot more tough than it is right now.
So what's in the future for Justin Clark? Are we going to see you in a 410, or are we going to see you hop in that late model finally, or?
You know, there's a couple things I've got working right now. I don't know if anything's gonna come of them, but at the end of the day, you just gotta keep doing your thing and hope for the best. But me and Dad did some talking over the last year. Last year, we said if everything went okay, we might get a motor and then race a couple times, see how it went. But when I flipped last year, that really ruined all them plans because we had to put all of our money in building another car. So we did some talking again this winter, and since I have two complete cars and two motors and everything for a 305 program, if everything goes good this year, the plan is, since if I don't wreck anything or blow any engines, of course, um, maybe buy an engine at the end of the year if money's there. If not, then we have to wait during the winter. But if we get a motor, we'll race a couple times, probably at Atomic mainly, just to get our feet wet. And if that goes good and nothing gets tore up or no motor problems, I think might end up selling those 305 motors and going all 410 and race here and there and go from there and see how that goes.
Well, I'm sure that the entire karting fraternity is going to be keeping an eye on that. And that's the other thing I was telling Kyle on the way down is, it's such a family deal for you. You really don't have like the luxury of a full-time pit crew. So you'll be reading on the social media of all the different people that tag along with you, like from the go-karts and and the dirt modifieds and stuff like that to help you. But then you turn around and I'll see you posting, yeah, I went down to Atomic and I helped so-and-so on the modified, and then you helping somebody on the late model. It's just kind of, you just can't get enough.
Yeah, usually it's tough, find help. I'm not really close to anyone or any of my friends. So when it comes closer to the weekend, sometimes it's just me and Mom going racing, and that's really tough because me and Mom usually butt heads and doesn't really usually end well. But usually, if I got somebody, one of my friends that aren't racing that weekend, if they're free, I always invite them to come. And if not, it's tough, more tough of a weekend. But I've been very lucky over the past couple of years, the people that's volunteered and been able to come with me. And I don't really I don't really let anybody work on my cars and stuff, only because I'm OCD and I like to do it myself because if I mess up or the car's wrong, I got nobody to blame but myself. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just tough to find help anymore. And going into this year, as of right now, I don't have anybody. So looks like it'll be me and Mom starting the year out. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's pretty hard to find somebody that wants to jump in the car not knowing that they're going to be driving for 48 hours back and forth.
Yeah, you mentioned you butt heads with your mom a lot, and I don't know you guys too well, but it's always seemed to me that like she's one of the most like supportive race moms that out there. What do you guys usually butt heads about, and who usually wins that argument?
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, usually Mom wins only because it's Mom's way. So it's gotta let her do her thing. But usually it's just silly stuff we butt heads on. Like she was always wanting to clean the car after I come off the track, and told her a clean car never wins any races, and I got to get the car clean. And if if the car's clean and I don't have the car ready, then probably not going to do very good. But that's usually just what it's all about. Is I'm going around the car just making sure everything's tight, and if I need to change anything, I can change it. And usually if I'm walking around the car, she's cleaning and she's in my way. And usually it doesn't end well when I ask her to move, and she's like, "Well, I'm cleaning. You go around the other side, work on something." But it's always just silly stuff. but it's no harm, no foul. It's sometimes it's been more bad than good, but at the end of the day, I've got my mom and I've got her supporting me, and that's all I need.
I'm sure that mom is watching this, and I'm surprised she hasn't stuck her head around the corner yet. But I do really want to give out a big thank you to your mom, Lisa Connor Clark, for all the work that she does behind the camera. And almost all of the social media stuff that we're doing for the Rumble is because of the photos that she's put together.
You know, the one big thing was, like at Eldora and stuff. That was when I really had to step my game up as working on everything, because she was always intent and taking pictures and videoing. So that was where I really had to step up and learn everything and start to do everything on myself. And that was a really tough transition because she knew it all. And you know where I'm at now, it sucked at the same time, but I'm kind of glad because it made me stronger and a better person and more and smarter about everything. So she really does a lot for the sport and loves taking pictures and videos. That's her favorite thing to do. She's invested a lot of money in all that, and that's what she loves to do. So I love racing and she loves videoing and going racing. So I guess that's a good mix.
Well, I can't believe it. This 23 minutes has gone by just about as fast as Justin Clark around the racetrack. And we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon here. As we do, we're all going to be looking forward to watching your career and watching you this summer on the racetracks. And we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, I think I appreciate it, and appreciate you guys having me on here. And hopefully, like I said, we'll be able to see you guys some more Little Eldora next year, and hopefully we'll be having a Rumble next year because it kind of sucked not having that this year. But I just gotta look forward to trying to get a four-peat. I've won the past 3 years on Friday, so see if I can do a fourth year. Just maybe for once I can have better luck on Saturday. Seems to always have something.
Well, there you go. Well, Kyle, another Rumble Mumble in the books.
Yeah, thanks again, Justin, for joining us. Next week is kind of a little bittersweet. It's going to be our last Rumble Mumble for a while.
Well, just until September.
Just until September. So thanks again, Justin, for joining us, and tune in next Thursday at 7:23 for another Rumble Mumble presented by Fatheadz Eyewear.